The association's Action in Solidarity and Jesus Solidarity invite you to listen to the Living Gospel. Today, Palm Sunday, let us meditate on the Gospel according to Mark, chapter 15, verses 20 to 41, with commentary from Father Patxi Loidi in the voice of Kyle del Rosario. Proclamation of the Holy Gospel according to Saint Mark. When they had mocked him, they stripped him of the purple cloak, dressed him in his own clothes, and led him out to crucify him. They pressed into service a passerby, Simon, a Cyrenian, who was coming in from the country, the father of Alexander and Rufus, to carry his cross. They brought him to the place of Golgotha, which is translated place of the skull. They gave him wine drugged with myrrh, but he did not take it. Then they crucified him and divided his garments by casting lots for them to see what each should take. It was 9 o'clock in the morning when they crucified him. The inscription of the charge against him read, "The King of the Jews." With him they crucified 2 revolutionaries, one on his right and one on his left. Those passing reviled him, shaking their heads and saying, "Aha, you who would destroy the temple and rebuild it in 3 days, save yourself by coming down from the cross." Likewise, the chief priests with the scribes mocked him among themselves and said, "He saved others. He cannot save himself. Let the Messiah, the King of Israel, come down now from the cross, that we may see and believe." Those who were crucified with him also kept abusing him. At noon, darkness came over the whole land until 3 in the afternoon. And at 3 o'clock, Jesus cried out in a loud voice, "Eloi, Eloi, lema sabachthani," which translated, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Some of the bystanders who heard it said, "Look, he is calling Elijah." One of them ran, soaked a sponge with wine, and put it on a reed, and gave it to him to drink, saying, "Wait, let us see if Elijah comes to take him down." Jesus gave a loud cry and breathed his last. The veil of the sanctuary was torn in two, from top to bottom. When the centurion who stood facing him saw how he breathed his last, he said, "Truly, this man was the Son of God." There were also women looking on from a distance. Among them were Mary Magdalene, Mary, the mother of the younger James, and of Joseph, and Salome. These women had followed him when he was in Galilee and ministered to him. There were also many other women who had come up with him to Jerusalem. The word of the Lord. Father Patxi's commentary. Greetings again, dear friends. This well-known passage clashes head-on with what our correct ideas about God and the Messiah might be. Why don't they make us bite the dust? we have an immense capacity to swallow what people throw at us. Unfortunately, we have become accustomed to accept them. The most violent clash is the simple affirmation, Messiah crucified, Son of God crucified. It is the squaring of the circle, something unimaginable. Paul cursed Jesus because a crucified Messiah was the shame of the Jewish people. And consequently, Paul persecuted Christians to death. The conversation decapitated him, destroyed him, and made him to be born again. But this reading, there are many more clashes piling up on top of each other. The most shameful insults, the mockery of calling him Jesus, King of Israel, the exaggerated humiliations, the victory of his worst enemies, the presence of women disciples, and lack of men disciples, and most of all, his heartbreaking cry, "Why have you abandoned me?" It is incredible that so many ruptures of human logic can be contained in such a short passage. You can only contemplate them lovingly and stay thoughtful and touched. He was an impressive man who announced as the great news a God who does not punish, the God of love, a solidary kingdom, humble service to others, the exaltation of the weak and defenseless, humility as a way of life, and the special humility of leaders who must become servants. Such a radical equality that we should not even call anyone father, teacher, or guide. And he practiced what he announced. He changed everything, even the image of God. And they fought him. They made him experience his teachings in the worst conditions, dragging him on the ground, torturing him, and humiliating him in the worst way possible. Hopefully, we are more scandalized to be born a second time as he wants, and to think that from that indigestible cross was born the greatest religion in human history. It is the mystery. It was full of tenderness. Prayer. I surrender. I surrender, my Lord. I surrender. All light bulbs have been turned off, and I have gone completely in darkness. I give up totally. You have won the war, precisely when you have been defeated. You have pierced my heart with a sword of tenderness, and I cannot resist anymore. I give up. You trashed Paul's logic, and you're breaking mine into 1,000 pieces. What is the use of this but to throw it away? Now that I do not see anything, nor I do understand anything, it's when I start to see a little that my heart has lit up slightly with a little light, and it is bleeding with tenderness. I give up. I will not fight with you anymore. I will not tell you that you demand too much. There is nothing left, but light remains. A little of your light, which is a lot of light, and love, a little of your love, which is a lot of love. I can love my enemy and be the servant of my house. Amen. That everything is new. Easter has begun.